Good students, so today I am here to inform you how I make my notes. Like you can make notes like this if you like this style of making notes. For example, this is chapter 8 from class ninth, Force and Laws of Motion. First of all, I go through the NCRT completely. I read each and every line word by word, and then I only highlight the important terms. For example, let me go. Like what is saying in the previous chapter, we described the motion of an object along a straight line in the terms of position, velocity, acceleration. This is not important because they are just giving us information about the last chapter. We saw that such a motion can be uniform, non-uniform. We know here I can say key for this line. I can say motion two types: uniform motion, non-uniform. Okay, we have not yet discovered what causes the motion. So this is the question. Why does the speed of an object changes with time? This is again second question. Do all motions require a cause? Third question. If so, what is the nature of the cause? Fourth question. In this chapter, we shall make an attempt to quench all such curiosities. Okay, so these are the questions we need to answer. So in this paragraph, I can say there is nothing much to make notes. You just need to have the context from the last chapter, like what is the motion of an object along a straight line in terms of position, velocity, and acceleration. Again, motion is of two types. That is it. So I didn't write anything much from this paragraph. This way you can go ahead. Now let's move to the second paragraph. For many centuries, the problem of motion and its causes had puzzled scientists and philosophers. So solving this is a big question for scientists and the group of philosophers at that time. A ball on the ground, when given a small hit, does not move forever. Similar, like there is a ball on the ground. If you push this ball, if you hit this ball, it will travel some distance, but after traveling some distance, it will stop. Such observations suggest rest is the natural state of an object. This you can mark. This is kind of a thing. If someone asks you what is the natural state of an object, the answer is rest. This remained the belief until Galileo Galilei and Isaac Newton developed an entirely different approach to understand motion. Okay, so from here we can have only one question and one important observation that I underlined. Same way we can proceed. In our daily life, we observe that some effort is required to put a stationary object into motion or to stop a moving object. This you can mark. Some effort is required to put a stationary object into motion or to stop a moving object. We ordinarily experience this as a sometimes this effort is muscular effort and say that we must push, pull, hit on an object to change its state of motion. So how can you change the state of motion? Here we can say there are three types, three inputs to change the state of motion. You can push an object, you can hit an object, you can pull an object. Muscular effort is basically muscular force. The concept of force is based on this push. So force is Basically, if you have studied in class 9, force is a kind of push and pull, hit or pull. Let us now ponder about a force. What it what is it? In fact, no one has seen, tasted or felt a force. You cannot see the force, you cannot taste it, but you can feel a force when someone applies a force on you. For example, if you are standing and if your one of friend came from backside running towards you, and if he or she pushes you, then if initially you were at rest, then you will start moving. However, we always see or feel the effect of a force. We cannot see the force. We can only see the change, the force that brings into the state of motion. It can only be explained by describing what happens when a force is applied to an object. Pushing, hitting, pulling of an objects are all ways of bringing objects in motion. So this you can highlight because someone can frame a question like, let me write the question for you. What are different ways to bring an object in motion? So framing such questions when you read NCERT is much more important for you so that you sound fundamentally correct. Okay, so you can see there are three different ways: pushing, hitting, and pulling. They move because we make a force act on them. So if something is moving, it means some force is applied on that object. You can see figure 8.1. Let me give you the okay. अब आप लोग खुद सोचिए, आप लोगों ने देखा होगा जब हम लोग शॉपिंग करने जाते हैं, वी आर हैविंग अ ट्रॉली, एंड if this boy applies a muscular force on this trolley in this direction, सिंपल सी बात है, ये ट्रॉली कहाँ मूव कर रहा होगा? राइट हैंड साइड मूव कर रहा होगा. The trolley moves along the direction we push it. The drawer is pulled. आप कभी भी टेबल का ड्रॉ खोलते हैं तो आपको क्या करना पड़ता है? पुल करना पड़ता है. ये देख सकते हैं, द हॉकी स्टिक हिट्स द बॉल फॉरवर्ड. आपने देखा होगा खिलाड़ियों को हॉकी स्टिक से क्या करते हैं? बॉल को हम लोग हिट करते हैं. So we can say pushing, pulling, hitting objects change their state of motion. So these are the real life examples. You need to relate the science you are reading in book with the real world so that you get more and more clarity. From your studies in earlier classes, you are also familiar with the fact that a force can be used to change the magnitude of velocity of an object, that is to make the object move faster or slower, or to change the direction or direction of motion. So this is what a force do. A force can increase the speed, increase the velocity. If we increase the velocity, object will be moving faster. If you decrease the velocity, object will be moving slower. Sometimes force is applied to change the direction. Like आप लोग कार चला रहे हैं तो आप जो स्टीयरिंग व्हील होता है सर्कल, उसको क्या करते हैं? हम लोग घुमाते हैं मस्कुलर फोर्स देके. अगर ये आपका स्टीयरिंग व्हील है तो अगर आपको आप इस साइड भी रोटेट कर सकते हैं मस्कुलर फोर्स लगा के, तो आपकी गाड़ी लेफ्ट हैंड साइड टर्न हो जाएगी, और इस साइड भी टर्न कर सकते हैं तो आपकी गाड़ी राइट हैंड साइड टर्न हो जाती है. वी ऑल्सो नो दैट अ फोर्स कैन चेंज द शेप एंड साइज ऑफ ऑब्जेक्ट्स, जैसा कि फिगर 8.2 में आप लोगों को दिखा रखा है. ध्यान से देखिएगा. जो भी आप पढ़ते हैं उसका एग्जाम्पल या रियल लाइफ एग्जाम्पल होना बहुत जरूरी है, सो दैट यू गेट क्लियर अबाउट दैट टॉपिक। सिंपल सी बात है, अगर आपके पास ये स्प्रिंग है, अब क्या कर रहा है बच्चा, खींचना शुरू कर रहा है, इस साइड से भी इस साइड से भी, क्या हो जाएगा, ये लेंथ कम थी, अब ये लेंथ बढ़ जाएगी, इसको बोलते हैं इलोंगेशन। जब लेंथ बढ़ जाती है स्प्रिंग की। उल्टा भी हो सकता है, क्या कर सकता है दूसरा बच्चा, इसको कंप्रेस कर सकता है। दोनों साइड से अगर ऐसे फोर्स लगाएंगे तो जैसे यहाँ दिखा रखा है, ये है कंप्रेशन। कंप्रेशन में जनरली क्या होता है, लेंथ स्प्रिंग की घट जाएगी। ठीक है, आप लोग बलून के साथ एक्सपेरिमेंट कर सकते हैं। A spring expand on application of force. A rubber spherical ball becomes oblong as they apply force on it. Okay. So this is the first page. This is a demo for all of our students. Like if you are studying in class 9th, 8th, 9th, 10th, this is how you can read the book and you can make your own notes. I suggest you to make your own notes. Don't read somebody else's notes. Okay. This is my personal perception. The rest depends on you. Thank you so much. Have a good day.